to Joe County.
Earlier this evening, you mentioned phasing out the estate tax. You've also recently proposed eliminating the state sales tax. How would you go about replacing the estimated $3.8 billion in revenues that the state currently receives from the sales tax?
My plan, which is being rolled out and it'll be on my website very soon, I've been speaking about it for months now, comes from the Yankee Institute's list of lasts here. And an initiative to begin the process through the legislature to take a look at Connecticut geographically, first of all, to say, does this make sense? Can we shift tax to businesses? And that doesn't mean overburden them, but if business tax increases because sales are increasing, and income tax is increasing on an individual because they're working overtime, is that a bad thing? We can't eliminate everything, but we need an initiative. And the idea that I've come up with is an initiative because of our geography, where Connecticut has 3 borders, Rhode Island with 7% sales tax, Massachusetts 6%, and New York right over across the road here with 8.75%. Imagine and envision people who already come to Connecticut, come through commute, coming to our malls, coming through tourism, buying the big screen TV, purchasing from our shelves. Just imagine how. And so the idea is to phase it out on products only, not gasoline and not services. And over a 7-year period, we believe, if it works, you index it and tie it into the GDP and even inflation. There's a few factors the legislature can work with, and you never phase it out quicker than you're increasing your business tax or your income tax. But you make Connecticut an exciting place. We were the provision state until 1959, not the Constitution state. By an act of the General Assembly, we supplied America, we supplied the world. And so we're geographically located perfectly, I believe, to begin the process to take advantage, which is something that will also help us eliminate and curb regionalism. I don't think our neighbors are going to be too happy about this, but this is our state, this is our land, these are our borders. So let's take advantage. Let's turn our liabilities into assets. Let's take the roads that we need to fix because people are coming all across the country into Connecticut and use that to our advantage. It can be done. New Hampshire's done it. But we can do it slowly. We can begin to turn the ship. We have to make a move on one of the taxes. I don't believe it's income because if you don't have a job, you don't pay income tax. Also think about the people in the inner cities, the people that are poor. They have more buying power. With every dollar that they buy, they throw it back into the economy. They buy something off the shelves. So there's a lot of details we'll be putting out on our website on the plan, and we'd love everyone's input soon. Thank you.
It's amazing to think about the fact that in our nation's worst economic recession, the Democrats have increased spending. And if you take away all the gimmicks and all the shell games, Governor Malloy has raised spending in his first term over 16%. We spend too much money in the state of Connecticut. And when you spend less money, when you make the changes that I've already proposed in a budget, you can cut taxes. Priority number 1 is to get rid of the Malloy tax increase. Priority number 2 is to engage in complete tax reform so our tax code encourages our seniors and our successful business people to stay here. Right now, we chase people out of the state of Connecticut if they retired and on their pension. We're the only state that taxes that pension. It's great that Governor Malloy wants to give an election year gift to teachers, but what about everybody else who's working hard work and living on a pension? So we ought to eliminate tax on pensions. We ought to eliminate the estate tax. We ought to eliminate the business entity tax and all the corporate taxes so we can send a message that that Connecticut is finally open for business and a welcome place for people to invest their money and create jobs.
Senator Boucher?
Yes, thank you. You know, I do not hear from my constituents that the sales tax is a problem for them. I hear that the income tax is a problem for them, that the inheritance tax, the gift tax is a problem for them, the pension tax, the real estate tax is a problem for them. And we did go about phasing out the inheritance tax some years ago because we found so many people left. And when we started to phase it out, people stopped moving. So it's important to concentrate on that. It shows that you can do that. And in fact, this governor has produced the rate of spending that is unheard of, that is unsustainable and is leading to further deficits in the coming years, even though now there's a fictitious surplus that he's giving away. By the way, you're going to get $55, not even enough to fill your tank of gas to buy your vote on November the 2nd. That's not what we should be focusing on. We need to focus on tax reform, and we can do it. We can do it by certainly reducing and renegotiating our wages, our health care, and our pension contribution and age of retirement for our biggest employee group in the entire state of Connecticut, and that is the state government itself.
Mayor Bell?
This legislature is like the movie Gremlins. If you feed and water them after midnight, they're going to come up with every wacky program and wacky spending idea you possibly can imagine. We have a spending problem in the state of Connecticut. We don't have a revenue problem. If we stop spending, our revenues come into line. My campaign has proposed eliminating and cutting back on 3 taxes. Business entity tax should be eliminated. That's a tax that was sent out to every business because the state of Connecticut hates you as a business. There's no service provided for it. It's just we want to take money out of your pocket. 2, we need to enact a homestead property tax exemption similar to what Florida does so that we can keep our seniors here, have them age in place because we know it's more efficient for cities and towns to do that. 3, we need to cut the gas tax. A brief survey around Connecticut shows that New York state gas stations are between 5 and 10 cents less than us. Rhode Island is between 25 to 30% less, 30 cents less than we are as well. What do you think happens? People don't buy gas in Connecticut, particularly out here. They go across the border. They fill up there and then come back to Connecticut. So we're losing revenue. You cut the gas tax, you're actually going to gain more revenue and make us more economically viable.